welcome to our audience. I would like to invite our second speaker, Mr. Floris Bogart, a professor at the Hanse University of Applied Sciences in Groningen and an affiliated researcher at the Global Center of Adaptation and senior consultant on water at Deltares. Floris has over 25 years experience in international climate adaptation, complex monitoring, river rehabilitation, and his projects integrate spatial planning and urban water management with a focus on the implementation of nature-based solutions. So Floris, I will give the floor to you, and we look forward to the examples of nature-based solutions, please.
Yes, thank you so much. I'll start sharing my screen. Yeah, thanks for inviting me, of course, and a great introduction, of course, of Barbara, so we can dive in. Maybe a bit about me. I'm from the Netherlands. I have 3 jobs. I will explain that because the presentation is basically about combining the professional practice and education, also research. I'm a researcher at the Hanse Applied University of Groningen, of course, also a consultant at Deltares, and I work as an affiliated researcher at the Global Center of Adaptation. And combining these might induce involvement of different stakeholders. So, and of course, well, I'm from the Netherlands. If you have been there, you probably heard that most of the Netherlands is below sea level. So for implementing nature-based solutions, this is regarded as the worst case scenario. We have very low permeable soil. We have very high groundwater tables, of course. So that might be something I will get back to later in this presentation. What I want to show in just 15 minutes is maybe the citizen science, some local perspective of in the Netherlands, but Europe or international for that matter. 2 tools that you can use, that you can participate in, and that will be Climate Scan and that will be Climate Cafe. So I'm just going to tell, it's going to be fast. I'm just going to browse through like a book. In the bottom, since most of you are researchers, there is a lot of open source publications that you can find more information. So I hope this will find you as a pleasant, laid back, watch some pictures and see what's happening. Challenge of urban, of course, addressed already by Barbara. It's very well for the Dutch perspective. For example, we also have the dikes, of course, that can break. We have subsidence, which is quite a problem. So every country, of course, has their own worst case scenarios, so to say. So these are some examples that actually nature-based solutions are a solution for. So, and just to be brief, there are a lot of things. Spawn cities has been addressed from China to Berlin, as we saw as a best management practices. So there's a lot basically what we could do. The most important thing addressed also by the Global Center of Adaptation and the latest publications is that we need that participation, the stakeholders, because of course it's a global mitigation, adaptation is global, but the effects are very local, and you have to act very local, and you have to deal with stakeholders, with citizens basically, because we're working in their backyard. So that's a difficult part. And things that you can help are tools, climate adaptation tools, with a lot of examples where you can find them, because that's, I'm not going to show every example which is out there, of course, but I'm going to teach you where to find them and how to use them. So these are a lot of platforms all around the world. I'm going to focus on one, which is Climate Scan, hosted at this university, the Hanse, basically, but is international, connected to, well, a lot of you are researchers, so some of you will find this familiar. A recent book, Nature-Based Solutions in Europe, is this one. As you can see, Climate Scan is one of them. What I like about it, I will tell you, is that it is really citizen science. It's the only one that you yourself can put up your projects where you're proud of. And we analyze that to make our work easier and to connect to people, which is the most important thing, and makes the platform well available since 2014 already. Most of the platforms are related to a certain project, an EU project, for example, which goes 2 or 3 years, and after that, well, platforms tend to be more being less interactive or even online. So what is so special about it? It's, well, with citizen science, as I said, it's free. which is quite important to get more collaboration. It has very detailed information, which location you can visit, and it's well, the information is there, what you put on it, so to say. It's interactive. It's well, 50% here is research. So you might like that most of the research is added to that certain point, so you can also see where it is, but also how it functioned, which is quite nice. And it's linked to activities as Climate Cafe, but I'm gonna browse through that later. So how does it look? It's basically a Google map. It has 6,000 projects all around the world. It has a lot of different topics, which I'm going to show later. It has over 1,000 registered users that upload projects, and it has an app. So if you're in the field and you see green roof, you can just put it on there. So some of the best management practices, international ones here, China, Dresden, art related, Malmo. We have a very green wall in Spain, which is actually a tourist attraction now, and some homes in Thailand. So there are a lot of things that you can find on that, and most about 2,000 projects are in the Netherlands. It's quite a diverse one, as you can see here. It's a green infrastructure, so nature-based solutions mostly. So that's rain gardens, swales, could be green roofs. So you can find a lot of things there. And the great thing is that people themselves put it on. That's why it's the biggest inventory of green infrastructure around the world. So it's a database, and it's well, it's being made by people like Thomas, who's on the right side, laying on the floor, making beautiful pictures and uploading them to the website. And there are 1,000 people like Thomas, but Thomas is of course unique. So I will share another slide of him being in strange positions to get the best pictures, and well, basically for you to see the examples that he finds very interesting. Well, why is this quite important? Well, when we lie on the ground and we make weird pictures, people come out and they would say, "Why are you making pictures of my front lawn, which is a swale, for example?" As you can see in this article, it's about interaction. People are quite mad. Why are you doing this? And we get a talk. We explain them this is a bioswale. Most people don't even know it. So, and then we ask them, how does it function? Are you satisfied? What could be improved? And we share that in the articles like this with the stakeholders as the water authority and the municipality. It's quite fun to do. We travel a lot and we have a lot of engagement. It's very bottom up, as you could see. So a lot of talks, getting very valuable information on what works or not works, because it's not the municipality or the water authority that has their opinion, and basically it doesn't count if they're really in a neighborhood. These people are living there. They know when it's flooded, they know when it's too dry, they know when it's too hot. So it's very valuable information. And of course, that doesn't give a very objective perspective for a researcher, but storytelling is quite an important thing. So that's why we also do research on some locations that might be not the best solutions or regarded by the stakeholders as best solutions. So what I do as a hobby, I go around the country, but also in international, and I flood water squares. I flood swales and rain gardens, and basically flood them in a large scale, not small measurements. But people go out and they say, "What are you doing? Why are you flooding my square? It's a water square. Did you know?" And we get the whole conversation going. And we, of course, publish all the results on a scientific level, what the hydraulic capacity is of these functioning things. So that's quite nice research. This is some pictures of last week. We went on a climate cafe in the Drents Overijsselse Delta. It's the higher part of the Netherlands. It's really beautiful. And we did a lot of floodings and gathered a lot of information, had talks with a lot of citizens, which is quite nice. One thing I got from the last speaker, Barbara, is when you think water adaptation, think also biodiversity. And that's something I took from this, because you see grass, it's lawns. Why is it not more biodiversity? Because if you have more plants growing with different root sizes, you get more hydraulic capacity as well, and can actually uptake some of the pollutants that are in the soil. Anyway, on the website, you can find, also floating urbanization, for example, or some things, opportunity of adaptation. So citizens will speak to stakeholders and say, well, this lawn could be lower, and then it will be an infiltration field, for example. So that's quite nice. Well, heat stress measures, there's a lot on it. You can find it yourself and just browse through in the neighborhood where you might be living or be now in a pandemic, so to say. What I find very interesting, and we published, is what is the most viewed. And to a surprise, of course, there's some very, very famous green infrastructure, nature-based solutions, but there are actually a lot of small municipalities that make great, simple things that are cost-effective and very likable. And this is just a glance through of 16 of these, most of them in the Netherlands because it's used most in the Netherlands, but it's quite nice to see. And there's a lot of biodiversity here, so I think that's one message we could take out from this as well. So we analyze this. Well, just to show you a deep dive, on the left there's a gully-free road. There's no stormwater drainage anymore. The road is the stormwater drainage, functioned very well, had a great video of 60 millimeters an hour, and did a great job. On the right, there's some rain gardens in Amsterdam South. It's a public space, actually, not private space, but the people love it because they think I have a bigger garden, and the house prices went up. So some of these, every location has their own story, and that makes it for me very valuable. So you can go around some of the green buildings, as you can see here on the right, or some playgrounds that are used also for climate adaptation, as you can see. So there's a lot to see. Also, what does that give you? Because it's another country, you're from the Baltic region. Well, we use this in projects. We do research on the literature, what might work or what is already out there in your region where you would live. And these are just a grasp that we find which is most viewed in Nordic countries or in Latvia, Estonia. So there's a lot out there. So that might be an inspiration. Not gonna get them to those. As I said, it's more valuable to see how you can find them. So what can you find? Well, Riga, Gdansk, there's some in Tallinn, some things you can see. And we use that for guidelines. What does work? When is it implemented? When it's already out there for a long period, it might have the suggestion that it's working. Otherwise, they might have removed it, or we would know that it doesn't work. So these kind of things we are putting in this project, for example, with Cleantech Latvia, and I saw Jurijs in the call as well, so welcome. You can help people to see what works or not, and vary on a visual way, as you can see here. And also, of course, in Holland, we are working with this almost 30 years now. So we have guidelines, specific guidelines for bioswales or rain gardens, and you can enjoy them as well, not go into deep. If you have a location of these swales, and when you mapped, if you go to the Netherlands, you would push in the Legenda bioswales, there are about 1,000 locations already. What you can see here, and relating to the first map that I showed where the Netherlands is flooded, most of the water authorities think you cannot infiltrate in the lower parts of the Netherlands. But as you can see here, it's actually all around the Netherlands. So that's a very good part to take off. So when you have locations and you map all these nature-based solutions with the help of citizen science, you can do great analyzing. And you can answer good questions. Like I had a talk with this guy. He said, well, I'm not going to implement nature-based solutions because that induces mosquitoes. It's a warmer climate, mosquitoes would come. That's actually not true because the hydraulic capacity of these swales are being tested and they're empty in 1 or 2 days. And a mosquito needs 7 days on warm and very good quality water. So an issue in the Netherlands as well. So with this, we can combine maps of mosquitoes and locations of nature-based solutions and actually make analyzing things. And what I also do when I go treasure hunting, so to say, when I see green walls or anything, the location is very important, what kind of district it is. Because in the center of the city, it will be totally different what you can do in the outskirts of the city, having more space, more green space. So that's very important to analyze as well. We will write, well, books and articles about it, but mostly you can see that on ClimateScan and visit yourself. And we can make a DNA of a city as well. So these are two cities. On the left one, I'm here now, it's Groningen. You can see that a lot of bioswales and green roofs is actually the core of this city. And then also from other cities like Enschede, it will be maybe the other way around. The first swales being implemented in the Netherlands were in Enschede, and then you can see what kind of pallet they are using and maybe what is not being used and might be a good suggestion to push forward, or maybe not. That's something we discuss with stakeholders as the municipality. So the last part is about the research, because it's not only the location and knowing where they are, but also if they function as well. And again, this we will do also with the involvement of citizens and stakeholders, of course. Climate Cafe is a field education. You cannot learn a lot by models if you don't know if they actually work. And models have to be taught how nature-based solutions work. So we go out, we learn in the field what they look like. This is in Malmo, Sweden, by the way. And it's really about how I function as well. I don't learn if I'm not getting involved. You can tell me and I will forget. You can show me and I will remember, but involve me and I will understand. So it's really in the next pictures, which I will browse through, you see people in Groningen, but also in Riga in 2019. We really get out there and really get the stories of people, of stakeholders, what is around the world and where we can learn from and be inspired about. Because it's not only in Groningen and Riga, it's all around the world. As you can see, I do a lot of work in Asia, for example, which has different problems, which might be more related to water quality, but nature-based solutions can have a very good impact on the purification of water, of course, by infiltration. Not going to the other countries, let's stay in Europe. It's really about showing and don't tell. Another guy that is very wise, doubt is the origin of wisdom. Some things don't work. And if you flood a permeable pavement like this and you see the infiltration rate is not enough, people will learn. These are all people from water authorities and municipalities, and they have to get into the field and show them how it works. And then we can get more improvement of these systems, or proof that we need maintenance to ensure that they are working for a longer time. So this involvement of stakeholders is quite relevant. And before I only will cite old man, I think Barbara was totally right in the first that let's work with stakeholders, but that are relevant. And that is a very good question. Because now as well in the poll, we're mostly with researchers, and as a researcher, I hang out with researchers, but it's very important for my work to hang out with the practice and of course the citizens that have most of the answers. So just short, the method for Climate Cafe, most important thing is that it's interdisciplinary. It will depend if I would ask this nature-based solution, would it work or not? It depends if I ask it to a guy who's an ecologist or a hydraulic professor or anything. So we have different work packages, which is about water quality, it's about hydraulic capacity, it's about heat stress, it's about the mapping, which is quite nice, and then soil quality, and it could be storytelling, which I like the most actually because of the involvement. So just to browse through some of these things, storytelling, we ask people, residents, how does it work, and experts, of course, what kind of research has been done. We go out, and this is Augustenburg in Malmo, a really inspiring place. Almost 30 years ago they started as well. It's an example, best management example of the Netherlands. In 2 days we gathered about 200 points on climate scan, and of course we did the analyzing like the cities at Enschede and Groningen. A lot of points, and then you can see green roofs are really popular in that region. And not surprisingly, the Green Roof Institute is there, for example. And we go out and we search after almost 30 years if there's any pollution in the rain gardens and the swales. In this case, it is good housekeeping. There were not very high pollutants, but it could be, of course, after that time. And we went out with underwater drones to see with sensors and cameras and see what kind of water quality is in these different regions. You can can see the results here. And also, as I said before, if you're interested in this, not the topic of this talk, of course, but you can see open source scientific publications where you can find more info. And the hydraulic conductivity, of course, we did that in the swales of Malmo, but also in some swales in the Netherlands under different circumstances like drought and also flooding. And it's really interesting. And well, I get to publish it, so that's quite nice. And we biked around to see what kind of measures there are out there. And then we attached sensors, temperature sensors to the bikes. And we would find heat stress maps where it is hotter and mostly when there's no green and water. And that proves, of course, for stakeholders that they might want to do something. And it was lovely in Malmo to bike around because it's not in every city that you can bike around freely. As I saw this picture near the canals, a biking path in Amsterdam. And of course, it's great biking. Anyway, closing up. Wise words from man and woman. Tell me and I will forget. Doubt is the origin of wisdom, so be very critical also. Not only positive about nature-based solutions, but tackle the main questions like the mosquitoes or anything. Some are really, really easy to disprove. We did learn from history, and we should, by mapping them and taking all this research as we've done in Malmo, but all around the world, also in Riga and other places. And I would love to go to one of the cities that you are in, for example. So let's work with stakeholders are relevant. Of course, I think the S in nature-based solutions, of course, it's a solution to climate adaptation. And the S in sustainable, some are out there for more than 30 years. So I think they're sustainable. It's a proof itself that they're still there and are on the map. So involving citizens, I think I proved that it's very valuable for a lot of people. And let's share your challenges and solutions, of course. And I hope you will join and put your projects on Climate Scan and Climate Cafe. So I'm gonna stop there because I have no time if I was too enthusiastic and maybe was out of time. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Flores. It was really inspiring. And yes, I hope that also our audience will have a lot of questions to you and definitely visit your climate scan and join perhaps the climate cafes whenever possible. I think we have quite many good solutions to share from our region. So definitely let's cooperate better.